of the heart for the recognition of divinity and the celebration, to cease the denials of infinite love. And I can just see how this book was an answer to a prayer to find a way with Jesus that was very fast, very quick, for those who are really devoted and they want that direct, very direct path to the celebration of divinity for me. And I think actually, this is really been the beauty of being able to be here and go into that deep looking with Jesus on every single denial that he gives in A Course in Miracles. He shows the belief and how all those beliefs are in A Course in Miracles. And that I haven't looked at them quite that way before. Yes, there's a lot of forgiveness. We've all probably been through this course. It's like there were times where you want to throw the course right out the window, which he says, we got to toss it out in some ways. But this power, the abject power, starting with identity, the light, infinite light, and seeing that the light is where all the power is. Yes, the darkness needs to come, quote unquote, to the surface, to the light, so that it can be burned out by the light. There's so much fear in the mind, in the play of consciousness, that to see how simple it is really to recognize infinite light, and that we have that power to recognize light. It's helpful to focus on infinite being first. And then that's the immediate contrast between infinite being and the twig, the tension. The saying no to ourselves as divine being. And then really asking, for here he's just honing in, which is helpful. Ask me. Every chapter, obviously, I need to get that, because every chapter asks me. And we see the power in it, what's being offered by the part of ourselves that knows, that remembers the way back, past all the denials of divine being. So to keep asking and you start to see like what compromise, what's really being compromised here, the self-compromise, the light, and then everything else nada. And it's all the fear and all the play in consciousness is against the looking. Just a simple look directly at it, so I can show you it's nada. So now it's just like, okay, show me directly and stand into it, however it looks. And to see that it's all a desire to say no to myself, say the self, not personal, just to say no, no, and no. And no again. And then with this, seeing the power for here going underneath emotions. Emotions are like up here, underneath beliefs, to desire, the energetic investment in the no. And to be fully present with, to say, show me the no. Show me the energy of the no. And look really directly. Here's the light, here's the no. What do you want? And seeing how much the no's really wanted, actually. It's like, can't be free until we see how much the desire for the no is, because we can see immediately. Everyone can see that there's infinite light. We've all had experiences like that there is only light. We know there's only light. Infinite, unchanging being. We can look at the light as the light, because we are the light. And then there's a but I'm not the light. But before the but I'm not the light, there's the light. So in the light of divine being and honesty of God, is there an other? in our direct experience as light beings, because we can look. Does the light of infinite being know what time is? In truth, do we know what time is? In truth, in honesty of God, looking directly as light beings, and we can see, okay, no, nothing in there, but light. And then the but arises. We have to drop the but and go, or look directly at the but. Is the but true? Jesus, I'm saying but, so show me. I feel some tension. That's a but. What? Show me where the denial is. Where am I saying no to divine being? And spending that time and seeing how valuable that is. Like he says in the course, which we're all doing, we wouldn't be here unless we really wanted the zip line, the Jesus zip line, right into supreme happiness without exception. And there's not a willingness anymore to play consciousness, the denial, play the denial game. The game of saying no. This won't be attractive if you want to think out. For the play in consciousness, it's not attractive. But for the fast track and seeing how quickly it is, okay, show me. Denial. It will be a zip line being provided for the zip line, the directness. Because it's going to where the denial is. And by starting with the light and the contemplation as the light, and then allowing the darkness to ride up, then the ego, and just being present with the desire, the ego can't get involved in that. We were talking about that today, like Luigi talks about it, because he talks about stay as infinite light. And the train comes into the station, and you really want to get on it, the thought train, jump. And he'd say that all the time, stay on the station. It's like, but. So instead of getting on the train, stay with Jesus is saying, stay with the desire to be on the train. Let that burn through. See, because getting on that train, seeing that getting on the train is saying no to ourselves as divine beings. And being with the no. And admitting, it's sort of like an admission. I'm asking for hell and I know it, I can see it. And then we can just see it so clearly and just admit it. And that's our only function, is admit that we're denying it. I love that. Honesty of God, so simple. See that you're the light, admit that you're denying that you're light, and cease to deny it. And that's the speed and the simplicity. And then he's actually just delivered out all the beliefs in the Course in Miracles. He's given us the whole deconstruction. Yeah, I realized with all years of forgiveness, when I started really looking with them with every sentence in this text, the number of areas where there was still an energetic investment in keeping some part of personal identity. Oh, that's there. and really the helpfulness, looking at each one and asking, okay, is there energy around this? Is there still energy right here? It's so direct, it's unsparing. It spares nothing. So it's not, here's another day and I have to sort out, I'm not feeling upset, I'm feeling upset. And that can happen. And then we look directly to see where the energy is, desire for upset. This is just going directly to divine recognition, and then the immediacy of the contrast. And I'm really grateful for it. It's been very, very helpful here. And also how, at least for here, that relationship, the power that's being offered here with Jesus, to have that conversation, just like you're talking to anybody, really. Because it's all the same anyway. And I've talked about this a bit, that he's been directing to the urText for that reminder to see that it is just a conversation that anybody can hear as well, and Helen did. Everyone can hear it just as perfectly like a bell, like Helen heard. The difference is whether we decide, and the decision is, will we follow it unequivocally? Will the voice speak that we hear, and we can hear it? So I've said several times, I can hear him now. Don't tell me you can't hear me. It doesn't talk quite like that, but it's kind of a funny thing, you know. I know you can hear me. It's like, yes, because we can, because it's our natural state to hear that voice. And we hear that voice through our brother, you know, and we hear the voice by reading the book. It's not like he's just like clearing out all the cobwebs. No, you can hear me. Unless you choose not to hear me. And then the next question is, okay, now you can hear me. Will you follow? And that's really where the unequivocal, uncompromising, okay, Jesus, yes, has to be that, because the moment there's a no, not following, we just, like he says, we just sided with hell. Actually, we sided with attack. Because he says that and was like, oh my gosh, no kidding. He says, to not follow the Holy Spirit is attack. Because the Holy Spirit is in alignment with all that is. And so if we don't follow, then we're attacking ourselves, or trying to attack, without anything actually happening, but we'll feel the effects, because it's immediate split out of cause and effect. So it's a desire for an experience in which we feel attacked. Or defend, attack being the same thing. So asking him everything, every single thing. Okay, what about this? Well, what about this? What about that? At least for here, it's invaluable. Absolutely. And I feel like this is the whole purpose of the new covenant for me, is that relationship with what's beyond the idea I have of myself, the remnants of that. Okay. And ask, and then follow. And seeing that the spirit within us doesn't have a why to it. No why. The ego's the why. If there's a why coming up, the spirit, we can see this when we follow the Holy Spirit. How often does he give you a why? I don't know. When I really look, actually, this is for me, there's just not a why in it. It's to move past the idea of the why. The divine expression needs a why. A why is a because, and a because is limitation. No, because, no, it's divine expression as it is, whole and complete expressing. And to follow the Holy Spirit, full on expression of divine expression. Peace. And to see all the exceptions, all the little places, like show me all the little places where there's not complete happiness. And it's like, I can see that play, the play of not wanting to look. Like kind of wanting to look, but really not. And you begin to see, that's why that relationship is so good, because that expression in consciousness, the part of consciousness that remembers who we are, when the opening is to that communication, there are no tricks left. It's the speed up, because there are no tricks of the self-deception anymore. Because that voice doesn't know what self-perception is. I just kind of cut right through that. You can watch it. You can watch her talk to Helen. She said something, oh my God, I love this so much. She wrote in the notes something about this course is optional or something. And Jesus goes, no, it's not. It's not an option. It's like not optional. And that's how direct we need that voice to be with us, actually. You know, we want the Jesus that kind of pats us on the head. You're going to, and that comes, you know, you're going to be all right. He'll do that. But really, the fast means is when you have that relationship, he goes, no, you know, you got that voice coming in. You know, that's not helping you. Okay. Is this helpful? No. You know, so it's so the voice within us that remembers God that's so direct. But we want the image of what Jesus looks like, or and the fast method is to have the direct Jesus version. Just tell me, give it to me like it is. You know, okay, do I still believe this? I can eat, you know, past the tentative, oh shit, I'm afraid to look, you know, kind of past that and let him deliver it. And actually, for here, it gets funny, actually, because I could see, like, you could ping pong in all kinds of directions. You start catching the ping pong and going up left or right. It's because the consciousness is a thought generator. That's its whole function, is let me put this out here, and then, you know, then, and then we like follow the rat down the hole, okay, with thought. Like, you know, you're walking along and it's like, oh, I'm going to go in that store like this. You know, inherently within divine totality, there's nothing going to happen to anyone if they go in that store. It's not a punitive, you know, there's consciousness isn't punitive. It plays the game of being punitive and then blames it on God. So it's really helpful when you have that, okay, is this divine expression before I go in the store? You know, and is this the full expression of divinity? Because we want to be so aligned with the truth of who we are as divine beings, rather than following the rat distraction here. So it saves a lot of time. Do I need to give any thought to this? No. Gone. You know, because that's another thing. Consciousness loves making little thought forms and then playing with them and making beautiful pictures out of them, and then bring up a memory. And, you know, we just watch our minds. So we've all been watching our minds. We know what that play looks like, that little dance with the devil, you know, and falling asleep, ding, ding, ding. All of a sudden, so inherently nothing actually happens. Because we can see this in divine light, is anything actually happening? No. But our experience in the dream is hell. And I think, we need to see it, actually. We need to see directly that it's not such a pretty picture, all these distractions. Because the thought-based consciousness is going to pretend like it's not a problem if I go to the store. It's not a problem at all if I go over here, or I don't spend time with the, you know, there's just a myriad of, in the suffering category, it's massive. Not follow who we are as divine beings, not fully expressed as we're in total alignment with source. It's hell. So having that voice and that relationship and any ideas that we cannot talk to them, just not so. It's abjectly unso. It's good to look at those beliefs. Jesus, please show me any desires that I cannot hear you clear as a bell, not to hear you, that voice. It may not be like words. It can be just a feeling. It doesn't have to necessarily be words. He says, yes, if you choose, because of the power, because this is you you're talking to. Can you hear that voice that clearly to sound like Helen? And he's told me that several times. Yes, we can. It's the not wanting of it that's the problem. It's the challenge. Because we created a belief system that associates talking to God, talking to our divine nature as fear. Put that together so that we have that experience. So we miscreate an experience so that talking to God is fearful. Yet in the divine light, can we ever find fear in divine light? When we really look, is there fear? Divine being know what fear is. What is that? Divine being, the holy instant, fear is just unknown. So it's really, this is so helpful to look at he's looking directly at the miscreation, the desire for the experience. You believe your brother is trying to tear heaven from you. Thus, you desire experience of every time you come up to a brother, you feel deep in your heart that they're taking heaven from you. It's like, wow, that's definitely putting it in a place I hadn't thought about that before. And today we were talking about what the responsibility is. Because the ego has an idea that the ego is responsible for everything. It feels like it's in control and it has responsibility. And our only responsibility is to see it's not true. Like if it's summed up, is this true? That's what forgiveness is. Is this true? Is it true that there's something other than light here? Because it's like, at first, you can see the exception. Okay, this is really great. I see infinite light. I can see everyone sees there's infinite light, and everyone is infinite light. And then the but comes, or the past tense. I saw infinite light yesterday. I saw infinite light 3 hours ago. That's the exception. Because the infinite light, every time we check in, so Jesus is saying, check in, at least for here. Check in on that light often. Is it still here? Even if I'm totally pissed off, is it still here? Even when I'm pissed off. Because the pissed offness is an attempt to cast it out. Let me just pitch this out. Upset is an attempt to pitch out infinite light. Yet if we're upset and we just go, is the light still here? Wait a minute, the light's still here. Is the light upset? No. We're focusing on what's true to us, infinite being. And we've also talked quite a bit about whether or not emotions need to be experienced. This is for me. And obviously, no. And that is a really strong belief that emotions need to be expressed for divine recognition. No. I have to ask them 20 ways from Sunday on that topic. He says, if you express emotions, you will be on that trip across the ocean, and I'm asking to make sure I'm clear, for a very long time. And you use it. What changes things is the willingness to see it another way. So the power is not in the expression of the moment, it's show me. And show me can come before the words actually leave the mouth, because we're that powerful. So the show me, infinite light meets the idea that I'm having about what's happening now. That's how quick he's just pointing to, he's not saying it's bad to have emotions, or he's just saying, see how powerful you are as an infinite light being, that this need not be, and see how fast that correction is when it's brought to light. So those things are a way of, a means of holding back from light, actually, and denying light. I mean, it's not like we go to our brother, look, don't cry, because it's understood where this is advanced mind training. This is advanced light training, is what he's talking about. Because these things are going to arise, and we're not looking at anyone else. We're looking here. I'm looking here. Jesus, what's true? What's true is this need not be. See where the power comes. The power is emotion. So it's desire, belief, emotion. So emotions are up here. Desire for the experience is before that. I desire experience not being the light here. So I can look at this directly, and I can, because I made desire, I don't have to have that anymore. There's no requirement whatsoever in infinite being, and we can see this in the light of divine nature. Does the light of divine nature have any requirement on it whatsoever that emotions to be experienced in infinite light. No. Our natural state is happiness, and happiness doesn't know anything about it. So again, it's not bad if they're experienced. They will tend to arise as we're really learning that light training, is to see who's here and what's true, and start to look. The light training is to look below the emotion and what's driving it, and then ask Jesus, show me the conditions by which this is appearing within consciousness. Show me the conditions. So he's taking it all the way down to the fast track. Because what happens is it goes up here and it just devolves into a story. Here's a storyline about what's happening. Here's all the thoughts and all the feelings and all the emotions about what's happening. But the desire to have this experience, he's just going right to it. Here's the desire for experience and consciousness. And you, as infinite light, can look at me directly at that. And that's saving time. And that's actually what's happening in a new covenant. Look with me at each line. And also it's helpful because then you recognize that when it appears in consciousness, you can see it. You can see that nugget of the desire starting to come. It's like, okay, Jesus, all right, get you. I really don't want peace. It's like, I don't want peace right now. I don't want to forgive. Even saying I don't want to forgive is honesty of God. Don't want it. That's okay. I mean, we're going to say it, actually, and that is more honest than the rest of the stuff and going into all that. Just like, I don't want peace right now. Jesus, by the way. That's where that's really what he's saying the honesty is, to see where that energy is of saying no to infinite, unchanging love. That's just the experience here, I guess that's all I can say about it. It's just been really helpful. And to look at each one of those things and see where the energetic investment still was. You can see that looks for me. It's like going, okay, let me show you right here, all the places where that desire is. And also it's really beautiful because there's no, like the light circles, there's no guilt in it. It's just looking without guilt. The ego can get wound into, oh, I'm guilty because, no, you're not guilty for anything. See that you're light. And then see in the light that there's desire and that nothing happened. Okay, next belief, because our minds are this powerful to look this directly at this time. And quickly, just go through no metaphysics, know how it works. Just, is this true? In the light of finding, boom, 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 boom. That seems to be what's been most helpful for me. And to go through each line in that book with him and have that conversation, have the conversation. Okay, do I still believe this? Yes. Okay. I'm willing to, show me. And that's all it is I'm seeing. It's just that conversation without guilt, without, oh my gosh, I did something terrible. Getting involved in, because that just really, there's such a strong belief system that we did something terrible. I just feel like this is such a gift for me because it's just beyond guilt. It's just, there's no guilt in it. All right, I admit it. I don't want God. I just don't. Then I can look at it directly and say, okay, that's the honest God truth. Here's light, and I don't want the other part. And then you see, oh, that's really ridiculous, because now we can see, or for here, you can see, wait a minute, if the light's everywhere, I can have as much resistance as I want to have, and the light's still there. It's like resistance and screaming and yelling, and I could do all that screaming and yelling. The light's still here. Now, wait a minute. Who's resisting who? What is resistance really? Because that's like the hot topic. I feel resistance. No, I don't want to see that I'm it. I don't want. And you see that energy, you know, you start looking at Jesus like, no, I get it now. I get it, Jesus. I really don't want to be at peace. I really don't want it. So then you just, okay, I admit it. But at least we're really clear on what it is. We're really clear that it's the no. That every twig, every tension, every illness, every is the no to what is, that everything that's given by the Father. And then it can squarely land where it needs to land for, then there's a way out. We're not in the game anymore. We're not contributing our own energy, the energy, divine power. We're not diverting it off to say no to ourselves. That's the humor of it. It's like, you can say no as much as I want. The light's still here. You know, it's like, all right, okay, now I gotta really look at this because the light's here. The light's not doing anything. Light's just what is. And I'm saying no to everything that I am. And it's not working real well. And even when we see, no, it doesn't work. Look how peaceful the light is. Here's the light. And then somebody comes up and asks you for something, you want to jump them. So anyway, it's just such a fun. I asked Jesus before I started, let this be in service to infinite love. And just says, trust that it is, trust that everything, because we're here together. That the only call of the heart is for this, and that we're carried. I know it actually choked me up because it was really beautiful. Anya was sharing some things, and it's so helpful, right? Everything that's seeing, everything that's being said, you start really listening differently. Okay, what do I need to see here? That kind of thing. And I heard Jesus say, "You're in my home here. You come here. You've been invited here for this because I'm here and I'm taking care of this, everything." It was like, oh, that put me on the floor. And that's what he's saying. If I've called you to me, then you're in holy purpose with me. With the one who knows. The greatest power within, symbolic power within consciousness is who we're with, who's our daddy. And he's not taking us where we have the power for this. That's what he's just saying. Look, you're a powerful infinite being. Now quit thinking around as though you're not. And then it gets funny. You say, oh shit, I'm playing in the weakness game. The desire for an experience that I'm weak. Like, okay, Jesus, I admit it. I wanted that experience of being weak. He told me that directly. They know, like, for some reason, I just walk into things with my feet, and asking Jesus about so much. And so, he's telling me, this is a helpful example for look. So you just look with them and go, okay, Jesus. So tell him, it's a learning. Everything's that happy learner opportunity. Then it's the happy learner. Okay, so show me about, the desire or for pain or whatever it is. It's not. But it's an opportunity to see that pain is transcendable. It's an opportunity to look and say, is this true? And what's the source of this? It's a desire. And he said, he told me, I just meditate. He said, this is a desire for weakness. Okay. And just like be with that and just admit it. All right. I can see it, just look at it. That's all our function is. That's it. Listen to what he says, be present with it. Okay, I get it, and just learn that way. And then it becomes so much happier. And the pushing away and toe dipping is the death part. That's experience here. So I wanted to toe dip it rather than really look at Jesus. And then we see Jesus is here, came to visit today. And we have each other in such a precious way that's beyond expression, really. Show us where we're saying no to ourselves. No path. There's no path that talks about use your brother as the means to see that you're denying yourself infinite love. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Kay.
honey. Thank you, Annie. Then we can see where we want to kill our brothers, where we want to kill ourselves. Oh my God. Jesus is just as direct. Yes, there's so many ways, because he says this is not, there's plenty of ways. And there are plenty of ways. We can't really say, we can only name the way that's given. And so he reminds me often, this is for you. This is what's most helpful for you. It's not for anyone else. It's what's most helpful for you. And that recognition, it will take us home. Seeing there's no one else that it's for, divine expressing, just expressing in its totality as it is. And this is happiness, and Jesus says to do it, so you do that, because he knows the way.
Stay on the
thank you, and I thank you for the support, really, at the Mighties. I've said that in Lake Chapala, if beings hadn't said about this book really there, or really encouraged, where's the next chapter? Like, you can see how you need your brothers. Like, I need my brothers. We need our brothers to see where we deny Jesus, and like Vicky Poppy, all these reflections that come in and say, no, this is in service to the whole. No, get that center. It's in service to the whole. Stay with that center. And I see how we have to hear Jesus speak through each one. Like, if we're not hearing Jesus speak through each one, then something's wrong. That's humbling. So thank you, Jesus. Thank you, brothers. Jesus, for coming. Sitting on the couch. Amen. They're welcome to sit out and relax a while before you go. Seems practical. Yeah, it's